No doubt.
So let's get right into pick some bands here.
With the evidence we had last time, give me a rundown of what we had previously.
Well, we've seen Final Hour, or we saw Final Hour on their first night pick an incredibly late game team comp and hold out until about 35 minutes, until about 32 minutes, where they actually just swung the entire game. Wow, that targeted ban right at Catface Meowers is, I believe, what that Ziggs is about.
Mm-hmm.
I think someone might have been watching the last game, and we saw them pick a very late game stack team comp and just maintain incredible control over the game.
It was really good, very one-sided. There was one time that they did stumble
in the first night, is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Pardon.
And they actually, at 32 minutes, swung it from a deficit to a win in 5 minutes.
Criminy.
So that was incredibly impressive. Dr. Mundo ban out. I think we're just seeing some standard bans now here. Other than that Ziggs is actually a pretty standard ban almost at this point anymore. It may not necessarily be targeted. Shyvana banned out, which is interesting considering that we saw Final Hour absolutely just handle Shyvana by using Trundle last game.
Truth. Could have been seen as a target flaw. If executed properly with the right team comp, we wouldn't want that kind of engage.
And Nass is banned out, also a very strong late gamer, which is, again, what we like to see from Final Hour. Now, what'll be interesting is if Final Hour can make it back into the winner's bracket, they will be facing Versace, who I believe, yes, is the team that actually knocked them down to the loser's bracket in the semifinals. Or in the winner's semifinals, so the winner's round 2. And if Slinky wins, they will be going back for a rematch against Versace, who just put them here in the in the losers bracket. So Versace has put both of these teams in the losers bracket. So I think they're both hungry to take this win and get some revenge.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're seeing our first pickup, Pantheon. Now, Jungle Pantheon is a thing that we've been seeing in some of the more pro leagues. I don't know if this is something that's going to get locked in. And here's another interesting ban from Final Hour, though. Their final ban was Lucian, and the 2 games I've seen them against a Lucian, they have once again just handled it in absolutely extraordinary fashion. They just get their AD carry so far ahead of him that he's not relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pantheon seems to be switched to a Nocturne, which is honestly a little bit disappointing.
Right.
And finally settling on Lee Sin. So that makes me think that Slinky maybe has a couple of different team comps that they're cycling through, trying to decide what they want to run and what would be the least revealing to pick at this time.
Definitely. Lee Sin's one of those flexible picks.
Well, and we see Final Hour going with the Draven again, which they played very well, but they did have the Lee Sin to help with the early game pressure, which is something that's just absolutely great for Draven. His early game pressure is very, very strong.
That Poppy can't be a lock-in pick.
The Poppy with the Clarity, Clairvoyance, I somehow doubt it will be. Now, that's interesting. Domon is their jungler, but he's not the one picking Draven. I wonder if maybe Catface just doesn't have Draven to pick, or if that might be a top lane that's going to get switched down to... Nurkana, I think, is their top laner.
Okay. That's a top lane trade. Was it a 3-way trade then?
Possible.
Okay. Hales, I've heard, is disgusting in mid lane these days.
Kale is absolutely awesome. She kind of comes in and out based on what the current comp is. She was really strong when Assassins were the comp, and she also shuts down Ziggs, but Ziggs has been banned. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see them picking Kale without it being a counter pick.
They must have a team fight plan for it.
Logert hovering on the Karma and switching to Ignite. That's going to be very aggressive in bot lane. Karma's actually got some really good harass if she uses her mantras correctly.
Mm-hmm. Mantra also helps with lane sustain and the heal, right?
I'm sorry. Chat's saying turn up the mic. Okay.
Must be yours, not mine. I heard mine over the stream earlier.
Well, my microphone doesn't go any higher than what it is, chat. I apologize for that. I can try and turn up the audio a little bit, see if you can hear Jeebus a little bit better. Jeebus, go ahead and say hi to the nice folks at home.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How do I sound?
We will know in about 20 seconds. Because that is the inbuilt Twitch delay now. So we're seeing a Gragas pick, so that's probably going to be... That's either a top or a jungle Elise.
Yeah.
Actually, it could be a jungle Gragas. You know, everybody keeps telling me that that is a real thing. And,
I'm excited to see it, if so.
And I like that Thresh pick. It's very, very strong.
Absolutely.
I've honestly never seen the Thresh Karma matchup, though, so I don't know how that will play out. And Varus. And suddenly I feel like I've taken a time machine.
Been a while since he was a big thing.
Varus and Kennen, actually. So there is some really powerful team fight here. For Lee Sin to go in and slow everybody with his... you're going to have to help me out here. His E?
Yeah, I don't play him enough, no.
Okay. Oh, nope. Looks like we might have a Volibear Jinx instead.
That'd be Tempest/Cripple.
Tempest Cripple, thank you. Omnicracker says, you sound wonderful as always, Jeebus.
I'm glad to know that.
So I found out something very interesting, that Patrick Warburton actually did the voice of Volibear and Zac.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah.
Patrick Warburton, who is also famous for
little bit of tribute. Patrick Warburton also famous for Joe from Family Guy, creating Kids Next Door, and I don't know, everything that he does. So seeing Timo hovered over, I'm almost positive this is not an actual pick, but we might see. I don't know.
I'd be excited.
I don't know. I would be very excited to see Timo, but I don't know how well he fares against Volibear.
No,
and there's the Olaf that we saw from Final Hour during their first game of the tournament.
Very good.
Nurkana. So I guess it's going to be a jungle Elise top lane Olaf, because I do believe Nurkana was the one who played Olaf in game 1, and his Olaf was very impressive, and he was a huge part of why they were able to turn the game around at 32 minutes.
Very good. That'll be Olaf Volibear match with Lee Sin jungle on our blue team side.
Yeah, I do believe that that's what we're looking at. Yeah, it is, in fact. Both of the supports taking Ignite, it looks like they want to fight early game. And wanting to fight early game on a Draven lane is actually completely understandable. Wanting to fight early on a Jinx lane against a Draven is questionable.
It is questionable. He's going to be trading. Draven trades a lot more easily with a lot less skill.
It's true.
Whereas Jinx requires a lot more of the setup. And usually line of sight for the Electro Zap gun.
Fun fact from chat here. Apparently Final Hour has ended their last 3 games at minute 34. I don't know how accurate that statement is. How many games have they played in this tournament?
This will be their 3rd, right?
I believe this is their 4th. Yeah, this is their 4th, and they did not end their first game at 34 minutes. They ended it at 37.
Fun fact of the day is now a lie.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing.
Sorry to break that. So as we go into spectator delay here, who are you thinking for favored team, just based off the team comps here, Jeebus?
Favorite team? Let's see. Our purple team is Final Hour, who is crowd control spot on combo breaking last team. Tough to say. Jungle presence from Elise versus jungle presence from Elise on opposite side. It's gonna hinge a lot on. For bot lane, for sure, was gonna have our blue team's gonna have to work a lot harder. because their opponents are going to trade a lot more easily. Top lane is going to be regen champ versus regen champ. That'll just swing in. It'll probably be a free farm the way the last game went. Let's see. Refresh me. Does Karma have good lane sustain by herself for mana purposes?
She, no, I don't believe she has any kind of mechanic that does any kind of lane sustain. Actually, I can look this up while we were in Spectator delay. Let's go ahead and look at Karma's abilities. She has Inner Flame, which does not do anything for her. Focused Resolve, which is a slow and then root targeted at an enemy, and Inspire, which is a shield. So she has absolutely no lane sustain of any kind.
That's right. Yeah, I'm thinking of her pre-rework when she used to have an AoE heal thing.
Yeah, that AoE heal used to work very well.
Yeah. With that in place, the bot lane's more vulnerable on blue team. The mid is going to be Gragas, Kale. They both have really significant wave clear.
It's true, they do. They're also... Gragas is going to be at a disadvantage anytime Righteous Fury is up, but other than that, they're going to be even. But Gragas also has the ability to clear with his barrels once he gets even a little bit of mana regen. It's interesting. I like Lee Sin's early game pressure, but Elise also exerts a lot of early game pressure, and she has a Draven to go with, whereas Lee Sin has a Jinx, which we already said. Draven's early game pressure is already better than Jinx's, just disregarding anything else.
Absolutely. Now we can enjoy the loading screen together.
We absolutely can. As soon as I actually have a loading screen.
Mm-hmm.
Loading screen has been kind of slow for me today. So it looks like we have Team Foreskin versus Team Foreskin. And I apologize to everybody because I couldn't resist from making that joke.
Hideous. I mean, yes, both sides have 4 skins, not 5.
And I think it would have been really funny if it had actually been both of the supports that didn't have skins, but Logert is screwing that one up.
Classic.
So I don't know. Both teams have really good late games too. Jinx's late game is absolutely phenomenal, but so is Olaf's. And wow, we loaded actually a lot faster than I expected us to. So I guess I'm done talking. So let's see what they're going to do here at level 1. I'm not expecting a whole lot of action. I have actually not watched Slinky play yet, but we have not seen Final Hour do a whole lot of level 1 stuff at all.
Alrighty. Final Hour chooses to move out as a group, whereas Slinky does standard defense, looks like, and Karma's lagging at the res pad. Shopping for whatever it was she was shopping for.
I heard a few pings go down, but unfortunately I was changing my overlay, so I didn't see what they were. Wow, we're actually seeing an invade from Final Hour. Here they are to just put my foot in my mouth for me. Here they go. They found Lee Sin. Lee Sin's going to get flayed back, getting a lot of damage onto him from Draven.
One flat shot from Karma. Lee Sin's really low. They're just looking for a catch.
Until minions spawn.
Commanding. Well, burned a flash on what, both teams? Lee Sin flashed down as well?
Yeah, I do believe Lee Sin had to flash out of that.
He did not. It's still not
no.
gone.
So that was Karma Flash burned. And it looks like that's all that we lost on that. Yeah, just Karma Flash burned.
Yeah. That was an excellent setup, though. That was Fresh Flay occupying the bush to tons of damage on both of those two. And nothing to spend on it. Not even a ward is out yet.
It does force Lee Sin to return to base before he can come out to take that red buff.
Oh, some more damage coming on Jinx. They're all going in once. Line of sight is gained by Lee Sin Q. And they're going to back out of that.
And it looks like they may have convinced Lee Sin to go to his blue buff, even though that ward did watch them leave. They also got a ward onto the red buff, which is pretty strong. Volibear sitting over by the enemy red buff to see if they rotated there.
Alright, the junglers will exchange. Lee Sin starting blue solo, actually. And had to burn his smite. Whereas smite also blown on our release side, I think.
And that's actually really common now with the changes to smite. Every jungler, and the change to the jungle XP, every jungler smites and then takes a small camp so that they have smite back up. Lee Sin invading on the enemy blue, or on the enemy red, I'm sorry.
Red,
and
yeah.
They have absolutely no vision of it, but he's doing this without smite back up yet, so that might be a little risky. Or not as...
Might. Oh, he totally got it. Is Elise going to come crash the party? Yes, he is. Comes some exciting engage. They're both level 2.
Elise wants to fight him, but she doesn't have Cocoon yet because she's only level 2. She's trying to ping for Gragas to respond, but he's a little slow on that, and Lee Sin's going to get out scot-free.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so jungle advantage already in the favor of our blue side. Bot lane, both bushes warded. Skill shot misses on Jinx side. Jinx very low, actually missed that somehow, but Jukes the what is that? Death sentence off the Thresh. Gotta play it safe.
Now, what I find interesting is that Lee Sin obviously went straight to their red because they had a ward on it, but Final Hour also had a ward on the blue side red and did not immediately go for it after the blue, even though they didn't see Lee Sin show up there. It's
Here comes next team on Olaf, getting dangerously low. He did not survive that.
burned his ghost too. Looked like very close to there at the end of the gank. Maybe should have not bothered.
Yeah, probably.
And that's what you're going to have to do in that lane because Olaf gets so strong so quickly is you're just going to have to suppress him exactly like you would do with something like a Nasus or a Vladimir so that you can't allow them that late game power.
Oh, Catface wants to return. He knows that cooldown's on. And it's back.
Now we saw Catface go in and he got the body slam slow on Kale.
Flash Knight, Catface, and Kale barely gets to make it out. Barely with a heal. And meanwhile, Jinx takes a flat down at the bot lane.
That was very brave for Kale to just stand and fight after that body slam hits her. She turned around, hit Gragas with a slow of his own.
Meanwhile, Volibear is taking Ignite and a ton of damage, but his regen pop is gonna barely rooted and trade. He's out.
I like how when I get color commentary, they never stop fighting in the early game, so I can't actually talk about anything that's going on.
Nope, you can't. It's hopeless.
So, but Kale, like I said, turned and stood and fought. She got the slow on Gragas. Knew her slow would last long enough for her Avenging Wrath to come back up and allow her to put a couple extra hits and actually win the trade, which is what allowed her to flash in and ignite for the kill. Olaf getting some pretty significant damage down into the tower and top lane, but it's not as much as it should be due to the change, which has actually been pretty controversial among a lot of people. A lot of people don't really like it. They say it's enforcing the meta, which is something Riot claimed they would never do. But now they're pretty much forcing you to put your solo in top.
Instead of swap duo bot top. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Defense lane swaps.
I don't remember what the details of that were. I'm sure someone in chat will tell me.
Yeah, plenty of lane push coming down from both Thresh and Drave on the red team.
Seeing a disconnect from Domon, and here comes the pause to counteract that. So this is a pause coming from Final Hour. We saw them have to pause last game for a very similar reason.
The internet's no fury.
So I want to go ahead and take a look at the gold while we have a 2-2 kill tie, but you're seeing a gold advantage on the red side Final Hour. I believe Final Hour is the one that got the first blood. Unless I'm completely
Yeah, that's
misremembering
correct.
something?
That's exactly right. The first blood went down onto the Olaf when he was ganked top lane.
Okay, so no. So Slinky got the first blood.
went to Slinky, yeah.
So even with the first blood advantage, Slinky is actually a little bit behind in gold. And it's all coming from bot lane. Look at that CS advantage from Draven onto Jinx. That is a 21 CS advantage at 6 minutes. Wow,
6
that's
minutes. That's
actually
very
pretty
early.
huge. And you look at that, and it's actually 800 gold is the difference if you switch over and look at the gold. And the difference
Which
between the
is
two
atrocious.
teams is only 600. So
Yeah.
all of that gold advantage is on Draven, every single bit of it.
Yep.
But we did say that was probably going to be what happened, as
The early game advantage from Draven Thresh.
is incredibly against, especially against Jinx's weak early game, which they actually had to reduce the damage on some of her abilities a couple patches ago because her early game was too strong compared to how incredibly powerful her late game is.
Yep. Yeah.
All right,
it
looks
is
like
auto
the
attack speed.
pause is ending here in just a couple seconds.
Yep. We are back. And Draven still catches his axe.
Thresh farming up some souls.
Olaf trade. Gonna juke for a bush. Down a pot.
Looks like he actually came out behind on that trade, but I think it's because he actually didn't turn and hit Volibear at all during that mess. He just took it on the chin, which is impressive. Ooh, reckless swings. Hurts really bad.
It sure does. And the range is really deceptively longer than his auto attack range. There it is. Right there. But he knows Volibear has his regen stacks.
And he did manage to pop Volibear's passive in that, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like our bot lane went back to buy. Draven coming back with a BF sword against Jinx's longsword. This is going to be very unfortunate for Jinx should Thresh manage to land a hook.
Yep. Or if our Draven decides to hambone himself as a 3 auto attacks, he won't be able to trade at all. But we do see
Elise rotating down bot as well.
the bot for the gank. This could be ugly if Draven responds. Looks like he's not going to though. They saw it coming. Here's a repel, and too many roots. Some poke damage on the support. Burns a flash for no reason.
Well, I think what it was is she thought that play that
Thresh was winding up,
that Thresh got in position for was his wind up on his hook.
which is missing right now. Now we have both junglers, or sorry, mid and jungle red side going to pick up the blue, which has already been transferred to Kale, I believe. Yes, Kale has blue buff as well.
And we see Lee Sin coming back in to check Elise's red, because Elise does not have a timer. Elise has a timer on that, but she's not in position to help with or to take it.
Not at all.
Lee Sin's
Don't
just
need to
going
do
to go exploit that.
Yep, gladly. 3 buffs for me, no buffs for you. Win-win. As Elise tries to repel the invader in mid and gets knocked very low as a result, and has force of base as well. As you mentioned, Sultry Saltatus with Kale, whenever that Righteous Fury is up, Gragas has a terrible time trading, even getting CS. And now gets caught by Lee Sin, has to bring his flash to escape. Tower dive, minimal damage, gets out free. And Gragas needs a way out. While top lane gets more engage. I see Volibear. Oh, very low, not enough. His passive is probably not up yet. Gets obliterated by our Reckless Swing, both ignites down.
That was an interesting choice by Volibear to stand there and fight through that when he did not have a passive.
Meanwhile, bot lane activity, Gibson preparing for the engage, Kimmy's red push a little further. As well, a tower dive from Kale. Her ult does not last long enough, pinched by a jungler in mid. Gragas getting out.
That was an unintentional tower dive from Kale as well. She was explosive cast into it.
And as the gank I was lining up earlier pays off, Red gets baited in, and ult takes out Thresh from Jinx.
All three of the members of Slinky and bot lane were really, really low, though, so it makes me wonder what that fight looked like while we were watching the fight in mid.
Yeah. I wanted to catch it. But our teams love to do everything at once.
Yeah, they do. They do. It's and it's something that we saw from Final Hour in the last game is that around 17 or 18 minutes, everything on the map happened.
Everything did. All right. The top lane's outer tower very low, while mids barely have scratches. And our bot lane towers also barely even damage at all. Looks like we have some dragon considerations.
It's interesting to note that the top lane tower that is very low is only Slinky's top lane tower, as Olaf is just bullying this Volibear anytime the passive is down. And when the passive is up, he's just burning it and then backing off.
Yep, and chugging a potion, coming right back in. He's got his own life sustain that doesn't rely on an alt cooldown, or rather a long cooldown. His passive is basically a backup ult. And as he bids us in minion health bait, Olaf is not capitalized, but could have. As many of you are familiar with the canon minion bait theory.
Seen a growing gold lead on the side of Final Hour here. They're up about 1.3k. Fighting bot lane.
Oh my gosh. Good lantern off a Thresh for the escape. There's no route that's going to stop these two. Draven brought very low. Hope he can lifesteal that back. He has completed... No, he has not completed his Bloodthirster yet.
Which is interesting. I don't think he died. Or no, he did not die in that flash trade. That was Thresh that died.
Yes. But as a result, he's still CSing quite well, 30 above his opponent. Oh, and a tower dive coming on this Volibear. His tower was going to get smushed.
I would say I don't think they're going to tower dive. I think they're going to take the tower and then turn on him. There it goes.
Yeah, he's going to get toasted here. Flash over. Maybe an escape. Kale coming to assist. And he is out safe. Passive blown.
A little bit of action in bot again. Draven's still very low. He's staying a long time. That Super Mega Death Rocket's only got 30 seconds left on it, and as we all know, that is a ranged execute, which is stuff.
Absolutely. A very wide berth. Fired from grass can come out of absolutely nowhere. Thresh putting down some pressure. Wants to get a free hook. Roots the grass. Whoa. Saber Donkey very far ahead. Totally overextended. Caught out of lane. And does not get the trade as Whirling Death mops her up.
I actually didn't even see where that Gragas came from. That was a great explosive cast, though, to blow Jinx back into the wall. Saber Donkey was trying to drop a bush ward and maybe get back in line, and it just did not work out well for him.
Oh, Lee Sin takes a gamble and guesses wrong. Nose catch on Draven. They want to set the Further Dragon.
Ping coming down on Dragon. There are 2 pink wards out there for the Final Hour. One at the backside Dragon, one in the river bush. So they know there is no approach ward. I do not think... Oh, Mr. Logan seems to have some suspicions.
Oh, and burnt flash.
It's not enough.
Are they going to duke it out? Yes. Lee Sin does not have a way out right now. And they're going to engage on it. He gets blows his ult to kick back and gets himself a Kale who rescues him out of the pit. No kills either side. We want to clear this pink.
That pink ward has gotten them a good 3 minutes of vision.
That's good money spent. Meanwhile, since Red had to go back after that dragon, they might be able to put more damage on this bot lane tower, which they are in drastic need of pulling an objective, as Red has secured 2 now this game.
I see 6 wards out on the map from Slinky and
what?
3 from Final Hour. The 1 pink just got cleared. That would have been 4. And oh no, there's actually 4 on the map from Final Hour right now. So they would have had 5 maps on the 5 wards on the map.
Yeah.
Fighting bot lane and trades support for support.
Yes, both supports out. Draven lower, but he has, I'm sure, finished Bloodthirster by now. Yes, and Jinx not quite finished. Also, still 30 CS behind. And Draven is ready for her to make a mistake. Also, Olaf likes to invade and reward. Keep this
stand aside, use Whirling Death used, and looks like Jinx is going to go down to the bot lane. Good flash.
keeping the vision going.
A little bit of lull in the game going on now with the bot lane down and Dragon down. Taking a look at the CS again. Draven is still up by 30. Olaf is up by 20, which is, in addition to the 2 kills, fight going on in mid lane.
No, I'll stick right back out. Dragon, he gets
Well, as good as the KO ult is, unfortunately it doesn't stop you from getting CC'd, and that's what I always tell people is when you're against Kale and you see her pop that ulti, just CC whoever she has ulti on, and it becomes worthless.
It certainly does. Unlike, looks like Blue does not want to let this tower go. Lee Sin dancing around, this tower taking tons of damage. Launching the cat face, plenty of damage back, trading back and forth. This tower does not go down. While our
might used by Lee Sin to clear out that wave just a little bit quicker too, which is
not going to matter.
Yeah, it's not going to matter because here comes the entire team rotating top as Lee Sin goes to red and not passing it off to Jinx. I don't know if that's a choice because Lee Sin still needs it more. Another fight going down. Karma gets
oh gosh, that's 1 for 1 each side. Support for mid, while Draven takes an escape. Lee Sin smells blood, wants to get a good hook. Not happening.
Lee Sin actually peeled off of red to get that kill too.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he didn't even trash it. He didn't kill any of those. It's still up.
I was just talking about the fact that I thought it was weird that he wasn't passing it over to Jinx. And I wonder if that's a decision because they feel Jinx is behind, or
Barely
if
though.
Lee Sin still needs it in order to exert pressure.
Right. Worth noting that Jinx did secure that kill. Buck transferred as the blue. They're laying down more cast effects, but it's 2v3 mid. Tail gets caught, down to half health from the Draven damage.
Great flame choppers though by Saber Donkey.
Barely. Okay, avoiding disaster, 3v2. Drags joins the fight very shortly. As the
Karma
team-
shows up top and forces a Ragnarok out of the Olaf. I think that might have been a little bit premature, but he wasn't sure if there was anybody else there.
Right. It'll be back up shortly. 86 and a quarter second cooldown, minute and a half. In other news, our dragon timer is up in a minute 33. I need our and Tails. Think you can get out? Engage. Massive ult to knock Lee Sin out. Oh, he's barely escaped.
And doesn't quite make it out.
Meanwhile, Catface still executed from the Jinx ult. That is a 3 for 1 in favor of our blue team who want this blue tower down immediately. Can Draven and Olaf hold it back?
I think they're going to be able to. Olaf has some pretty fantastic wave clear with the Axis.
And the regen from his autos. But he gets poked and it doesn't matter. Dragon now up in 53 seconds. No sight from either team on that objective.
Even after that 3 for 1, we still see Slinky down about 5k gold.
Yeah.
And a lot of this gold is going to be coming from the fact that Final Hours managed to take down 3 towers already. Every outer tower is down. They're going to start pushing in deep and warding deep in the jungle, as we've seen them do in all their games.
And they expect their opponents to overcommit on that mid tower. They decided to back off wisely because they were ready to spend some of that newly earned gold.
What we also see on Final Hour is 2 sweeper trinkets and none from Slinky. Slinky is not denying any of the vision that that Final Hour is putting out. Now both teams are setting up to fight at the Dragon. It looks like they're going to have 5 down there from Slinky while Olaf is forced to clear top wave.
But it's only 3v3 currently. But sorry, 4v3. Part of the blue team is still on the way here. Oh my gosh. Lee Sin caught way out and hooked and knocked back from the ult. He is erased. Jinx trying to get herself out of here. 3v4 still in favor of red team. And Volibear wants to be engaged. He at least gets caught. 4v3 in favor of blue team. Olaf arrives late and gets rooted. 4v1. Volibear regenerating, gets taken out. And this is a 2 for 2, 2 for 3 trade now. Blue team in favor. Gets to delete the Draven, maybe. Draven gets out. Oh, it flashes away from the zap gun. Jinx
And
ult
ends
must
up
be
turning
down.
it into a 3 for 4?
Imagine that.
Not bad.
Dragon is still-
Actually, I think it might have been a 4 for 4 because I see Lee Sin at the base.
Yes, he was the first to die. Whirling Death, he gets some minions to protect that wave on the tower. Not gonna
I think it's not going to matter. Yeah,
Okay.
Saber Donkey's just going to go ahead and push it down, which was
And
a very
get
good choice
excited
by
about
her.
Very good choice.
Now, what I think is interesting there is we saw a very similar team fight in the previous game where Nurkana, the top laner for Final Hour, showed up late to the fight.
Yep.
And it still makes you wonder, if Nurkana had been down there on either attempt, would those fights have gone differently?
I count on the answer being a very resounding yes. Meanwhile, Red, first back to Dragon, first to recuperate. It's already at 1/2 health. And totally taken
And with the Draven on it, it did not last very long at all. That Draven is 5-0-4. He has a Whisper and a Bloodthirster done. That is very, very scary. That is a lot of damage.
And is 48-49 now CS above Jinx.
Jinx, though, has 7 kills, so she's trying to do her best to keep up in gold, but the global objectives are just so far in favor of Final Hour. They've got
Absolutely.
3 towers to 1. They've gotten, I think that was their second dragon, if I'm not mistaken.
That would be dragon number 2, yes.
That is a lot of global gold.
Tons. Speaking of the gold swing, we do see Jinx is still a handy 2k behind Draven.
I think the most telling in this is
The re-engage. Oh,
got an engage. No, Zap's going to stop everybody from doing that. I think the most telling gold difference here is the supports are Thresh is actually 1,500 gold ahead of Karma,
That's an amazing number for supports.
where they have incredibly similar kill participations. 1, 3, and 7 versus 1, 4, and 8 shows you just how important the global gold is.
Volibear, a moment ago, Red was pushing mid as it was 45. Volibear was clearing top lane, but we have regrouped in the mid lane, and each team is waiting to exert some pressure to catch the other team at a disadvantage.
The wave clear from Slinky here is just absolutely incredible with the Tempest Cripple and the Mantra Qs from the Karma and the
Righteous
Avenging
Fury,
Wrath.
autos-
Avenging Wrath.
Avenging Wrath. Meanwhile, we have got Jinx bot side getting the red buff as quickly as she can, while Olaf goes top to push that lane, split push style. And our teams are not really committing to anything big right now.
I don't know if you saw that. Karma just got deleted off the map. I directed camera followed it for me. She was caught out really bad, and looks like we're going to see another huge fight coming in.
Thresh knocked out Dip with the ult. Golly, at least died while repelling. Crazy.
Wow, and a triple kill from Slinky, which was completely unexpected. The Jinx picking up all 3 of them very, very much back in this game. They're kind of still pushing top lane. Seems like he needs to get into these fights. They need an answer to that Jinx. She can't just be allowed to sit in the back.
Nope. And she's reaching her late game potential after scooping up that much money. Near the CS score gap, it's still 40 in favor of Draven, but that was 3 more kills and a triple for bonus gold on top of that. She's going to buy herself something pretty. With 19-15 in the pocket.
And here comes
the
the
second
pause.
of the game.
Yeah, this is going to be a pause from blue side, I do believe, as Wilgert was the one that disconnected, which means this is the last pause we'll see this game. Once
right.
again, if anybody missed it, the rules are that there is 1 pause allowed per game, maximum 5 minutes.
Imminent.
I'm sorry, 1 pause per
disqualification
team per
parameters.
game. I think I misspoke there.
Right. Disqualification measures have been breached. And the really entertaining part about that print team fight was that Blue won that team fight handily with a disconnect.
Yeah, they did. It was absolutely true. It wouldn't have mattered that Karma was disconnected because she was dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the disconnect was why she died in mid lane getting caught out.
Yeah.
Yes, 5 minutes per team. But it's only one pause per team. So if
Right.
you use less than your 5 minutes,
A
then
summoner has
you are
reconnected.
not getting your, if you only use 3 minutes, you don't get a second pause for 2 minutes. No, that's it. Your pause is done.
That is it.
Logert has reconnected, so I expect to see the resume here any moment. I've never noticed that the pause timer moves up and down. It's a
Yeah,
little
that's weird.
jarring, actually.
It is. The cooldowns on the character spells bounce out back and forth between 1 and 2 seconds as well. Very jarring. Now then, we've got 3 towers versus 1. Again, the objectives in favor of our red team final hour. Gold only just under 3K apart.
Just under 4K, actually. About 3.5. Dragon's taking
Jinx.
blue without any problems there.
Jinx still has not gone back to shop after that team fight.
I believe she's on her way back right now, and here she goes.
Yep. And she buys Full Last Whisper back on par.
So she is now even items with Draven. The big difference here is she has gone for the static shade. Apparently the team wants to push really hard and just try and take towers, whereas Draven has picked up a Phantom Dancer, so they want to team fight.
Yep. Oh, and Karma gets caught again. Flashes out, disengaged, at least takes a fun of the damage. Damage on the Olaf, just walking into the team there. Pass falling out. Whirling Death catches up with the kids outside. And lots of damage on blue team. Red team is ready to push this. Execute barely misses. Body blocks on a Jinx. Shields. And the minion wave is at the tower.
But almost immediately cleared out
Yep. Both
with a
teams finding
combination
ways-
of the Avenging Wrath and the... Wow, Jinx getting chunked again really hard.
Good. The siege from Olaf is excellent accessory to this fight. They have to let this tower go.
I see a coin from red, but nothing coming out of it. Volibear caught out, gets a KO and a flash.
And completely wasted skills on him. Jinx trying her best to kill him off, but it's not gonna matter. Ult misses the priority target.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Which it probably would have killed the priority target had it hit. And I think their
wants Baron.
final hour is going to try and swing for Baron here, as everyone from Slinky is forced back into the base. Yep, here they go. They're starting it up, and
arguing
then
about
deciding better of it.
They want to bait the fight. They want to bait the engage. We're
Baiting
gonna
the fight
pull
may
it.
not be the best choice with your AD carry at half health, though.
Yeah, below that. Yeah, they're all split up. It's not going to happen. So they're going to base and get back to health. Draven can take the red. Dragon has just popped anyway. Thresh cut out. Gets deleted. Cat face now. Way very low.
I'm not-
Press the attack.
I'm not really sure what Thresh thought he was doing there. He was walking up to harass
Ooh, and overextended the Lee Sin.
Lee Sin, overcommitted to that. He was walking up to harass Kale with his auto attack bonus from Flay, which I only recently found out how that worked because I got him in an ARAM. And they just punished him for it, forced him to box. He tried to drop the lantern for the shield, but it just wasn't enough.
Kale now gets a lovely soup farm of minions, and the dragon presence is beginning. Red team does not get to clear the ward. They don't care. They've got Draven damage. The dragon is gonna die in less than another
Red
second.
team has
The ult
slain the
whips,
dragon.
and that is more gold in favor. That's third dragon for team final hour. Draven goes back to spend his money. Probably gonna be the beginnings of the day. Oh, before I say, disengage in mid lane.
So I'll tell you what's really fun is watching a game where a Ziggs and a Jinx are both in the team.
Mm-hmm.
Preferably on the same team, but you know if they're both in the game, because then you get to say Super Mega Inferno Bomb and Super Mega Death Rocket in the same game.
In the same sentence.
Yeah.
In the same team fight, no less.
Super Mega Inferno Bomb Rocket was a phrase that I uttered multiple times during Final Push's first game of the tournament.
Super Mega Inferno Death Bob Rocket?
Yeah, there we go. Did you get all the words in on that one?
More adjectives are necessary. Just like more damage on the blue team, they are getting poked down relentlessly from the final push onslaught.
Final hour. Final Push is not a team anymore, sir.
Aha. Yes. What I meant was that thing he said.
It's weird though how bad Slinky is taking poke, because the only poke that he really have is Gragas.
That's right.
And I guess Olaf axes if need be, but that's not really poke. Elise's only poke is definitely a pick.
Yep.
I mean, unless you let those spiders hit you, I guess.
Sure. At least narrowly avoided a re-engage off of Lee Sin with a root in that last almost fight. But they will continue to siege this tower down. Important that the wrong target gets the Lee Sin fuse.
Now, as much as Final Hour has some great... Oh, hang on.
Nope, they're going to use the coin and disengage from everybody. Red doesn't want to fight
It
this.
was actually not a coin, that was a mantra karma.
Oh, thank you. But, oh, Draven overextended, takes some damage from Tail. Skill shot here and there, no commitment from either side.
That was a good body block on the zap. Oh, wow, there's the tail engage.
Arise!
Another disengage. Nobody
Burns
wants
a
to...
Kale ulti and then uses the coin to disengage.
Ooh, ultimate cat face. Hook on the jig! And first to die. Hold off. Polybears duke it out. They will trade that? No, Draven barely lives.
Raven survived, and that is absolutely amazing. Looks like, yeah, he's going to be able to pick up the kill on Lee Sin with the flash.
And that is a 3 for nothing for final hour.
Although,
They are-
two of their members are incredibly low. And it's interesting to me, Olaf actually has no damage items. He has gone straight tank.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And finally, Red Team's outer tower goes down.
Meanwhile, on bot lane. And Red follows it up by stealing all of blue team's river buffs.
Well, it's interesting. Not interesting, I guess. I keep saying that. But Manny has not hit a lot of his hooks this game. Like, he keeps throwing hooks that don't necessarily connect. But I think he's trying to play the law of averages on this one. If you throw a hook every time it's off a cooldown, eventually you're going to have the one that makes the game for you.
That's right. The shotgun approach is known to work quite well. Blue realizes they just lost vision on Baron. They want to make sure that Red's not going for it. They realize they're free to go. Both sweepers on that team as well. Burned in that bush.
Three sweepers on both teams. They are really all about denying the vision here. Not seeing a lot of wards picked up. Trying to rely on 2 trinkets and a sight stone and a couple people who have some open item slots, I guess.
Huh? Manny's trying to zone and get a hook. Going fishing. More activity in this mid lane. Did not get a tower off that last 3 for nothing engage. Hook hits a minion.
And the big reason that they didn't get the tower was because the ones that were still left were Karma and Kale, who can hold that tower. 3 people on Final Hour were incredibly low, and the minion wave was pushed in the incorrect place. And that just goes to show you how important it is that you keep your minion waves pushed out before you have big engages.
Indeedy.
And speaking of minion waves pushed out, we have a huge wave on bot and a huge wave on top. Olaf's probably going to go clear the wave on top. The wave on bot going to be cleared out by Whirling Death. Yep.
Very good play. Could have pulled it back a little sooner.
Red team's turret has been
Oh,
destroyed.
we lost that red top outer. Did not realize how low that had gotten just from minion damage.
And Blue's going to capitalize on this. They know that everyone else is cleaning up other lanes. See if we can't get an engage. Tail, perhaps. Volley's looking hungry. Wasted his flip on the tower.
Red
And
team's
it's
turret has
down.
been destroyed.
Lee Sin re-engages. Barrel hits nobody. Barrel ult flash tail way out of it. Volibear taking power shots. Ooh. Jinx left very low. Lots of trading damage. The ult misses the dark.
The body block by the entire team. Jinx forced to flash.
Jinx forced a flash from that death sentence. Well played flash. Another monster. Oh, and re-engage when Lee Sin gets some more root damage. Volibear gets 4 versus 1 gets erased.
Volibear was still actually at a third health as Elise descended onto him. All of that damage came at once as Gragas dropped the barrel on him. And that barrel just hurt so bad. Gragas has how much AP at this point? Gragas is sitting at 458 AP. That's making those barrels hit for nearly
700-800 damage, almost 1,000.
nearly
Yeah.
700 damage.
Meanwhile, final out. It's time for Baron.
And I believe they're right, because I don't think Slinky is going to be able to respond to it, and they're not.
No, not a chance.
This puts Slinky in a really disadvantaged position. They are down 8k, and now they have to stall out a 4-minute Baron buff on a team that's already ahead of them. They may well have the wave clear to do it, though.
They may. They may.
And now Final Hour rotating for Dragon, just taking all of the secondary objectives off the map.
Red team has slain the
Green
dragon.
money. Widen that gap. And a hook on Karma. Does he re-engage? Yes! Burns the flash. Takes almost 2/3 of her life down. And they have nothing to show for it. Gotta retreat.
Someone has just pointed out that the Baron was taken at minute 34, which is apparently the magic minute for Final Hour.
Seems to be. Seems to be.
Now, last time I saw Final Hour take a Baron around this point in the game, they actually managed to take the Baron and then close the game out within 5 minutes. So if they don't close it out by 39 minutes, their record has been tarnished.
Completely ruined. Absolutely disgraceful. I would also like to take the time to point out that we have 3 Randuin's Omen on Final Hour's team build.
So whoever goes into the middle of their team, the enemy team is not getting away from that.
Nope, nope. And Thresh wants a hook of fish, but misses.
Look at Fish. I didn't know Fizz was in this game. Or Nami.
Or not me. And red team needs to lay down the vision in this woods as they are getting deep, deep, deep into the bot lane.
And this is the right place to go. Volibear's pushing, trying to split push top, and there is no threat of Baron, so 5-manning bot is definitely the correct option here.
And
Volibear's trying to go back now, but I don't think he's going to make it in time in order to stop this push.
at all. Blue team might be able to pop a few items, but they just take relentless poke, get snared, and an ult. The lead almost at the
Whirling Death takes out Karma.
Takes out Karma, and Thresh erased by whom? Pardon me,
The Whirling Death was a combination of Gragas ult and Whirling Death.
Ooh, Lee Sin engages by himself. No team communication at all.
Lee Sin engages by himself, but he ended up a lot deeper than he wanted to be because he was engaging onto Draven, and Draven had flash up and used the flash to drag it deep into the team.
Yes. Well timed. Volibear is trapped in his own tower. Red, final hour, is going to push this as hard as they need to. This game is probably over. Karma cannot stand a 1 versus 5 push.
And they have 18 seconds until Lee Sin is back up. Karma getting completed.
That's going to be GG final hour.
Final Hour once again winning their match in convincing fashion within 5 minutes of taking a Baron buff.
Someone has disconnected.
Very well played. Exciting on all sides.
So congratulations to Final Hour for their two game back-to-back very, very convincing wins.